Hello Capricorn, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self and ultimately create the life that you desire? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, so we'll jump into that in just a second. But we do have a tarot deck that we'll be diving into, and then I do also have these decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, Capricorn, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. The point of these readings is for you to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right. In your recent past, Capricorn, you have changes with the World card. So your recent past was either being in the energy of changes being made or approaching that energy. I feel as if the changes already happened. Now, I don't know if these changes were necessarily your choice or if you were kind of forced into them by the universe, but I do feel with this World card here as if the purpose of these changes were to close out old cycles and open you up to new cycles. So closing out cycles that didn't really align with you anymore, cycles that you had learned what you needed to from, and almost like leveling you up to a new phase in your life. Now, whether that is like in one specific area, so leaving an old job to acquire a better job, or leaving an old relationship to level yourself up to a new more expansive version of love, or, it could be many different things. It could just be kind of one specific thing in your life. Now, in your current energy, you have patience with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So I feel as if you're kind of in this like limbo period between closing out the old and starting the new, being open to the new, because I do feel as if, I don't know if it's necessarily stagnancy in your energy. I don't feel as if you are where you want to be yet, which is why you have this patience card, this need to hold out for better. Hold out hope for the fact that better is coming. With this Eight of Swords in reverse, this is actually my favorite card in tarot. This card speaks of breaking free of the limiting beliefs that have kept you trapped in a limited reality. So when we are limited, when we have a limited perspective about what it is that we deserve, what it is that we're capable of, what it is that's possible for us, how much the universe is supporting us. When we limit ourselves in what we believe, we limit the reality that we experience. But when we break out of those limiting beliefs and we start to realize that we're capable and deserving and supported on the path to whatever it is that we desire, well, then the way that our reality shifts to align with those beliefs, and it opens up opportunities that we wouldn't have been able to see before, since we did have kind of a limited perspective. Now, your immediate future, you have released blocks with the High Priestess. So this whole reading, it feels, is about you working through obstacles, challenges, blockages that have kept you from being fully in alignment with your higher self, with the version of yourself that is willing to do whatever it takes to pursue the life of your dreams. So many of us have a tendency to hold ourselves back, understandably so, out of fear and, like I kind of just was speaking of, limiting beliefs that keep us from being able to experience the reality that our heart truly desires. And so as old cycles close out, to you it might feel like a loss, or it might feel like you're getting further away from what it is that you desire. But I actually feel as if the opposite is true, and I feel as if you're working through kind of the things that you are right now, as if you're actually getting more and more in alignment with the version of yourself that is capable of attracting whatever it is that you desire. Because the overall theme for the reading is expect powerful change. So these changes that have happened, I feel like, is ultimately leading to an even more powerful change in your life. So let's dive in and let's break this down and get a little bit more of a clear idea here of what has been going on with you. So let's start, Capricorn, with your recent past. You have changes with the World. What does Capricorn need to know regarding their recent past? So there's that stagnancy. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And you have the Judgment with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this could be this energy of feeling as if the rug kind of got ripped out from underneath you, feeling as if things kind of changed overnight, as if you woke up one day and your life was completely different. Now, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, it could have a negative connotation. It could feel as if everything changed in a negative way and you're trying to play catch up with that. But it doesn't have to be. Now, sometimes we have to force ourselves into risking instability in order to grow in a better way. For instance, maybe you had to walk away from a job that just was not treating you well and, figure out your income in the meantime while you waited for something better. Or same thing with a relationship. When we rely on somebody maybe for stability, if you share a home with them or something like that, and you walk away from that, you kind of have to figure out your stability in the meantime while you wait for something better. But it's about not staying where you're not valued and where you're not aligned with, out of the fact that you're afraid that your needs aren't going to be met on the path to what it is that you desire. And so wherever you were at in your recent past and the changes that kind of took place, it's almost as if the universe nudged you out of complacency a little bit. And I feel like that nudge out of complacency was necessary to get you to where you're trying to go in general. Now, maybe you don't have a clear direction, and you don't have to have a clear direction. Just know that the universe is supporting you on the path to what it is that you desire, even if you're not totally sure what that is yet. So you were kind of pushed out of complacency a little bit in your recent past, whether or not you wanted to be. Okay, that's too many. It's like 5 cards. Actually, I think that was 6. All right, recent past for Capricorn. Clear, concise messages. Okay. 7 of Wands in reverse, 4 of Wands in reverse, Tower in reverse, and then there's the Fool. So, and there's the 8 of Swords. Look at that. The 9 of Wands with the 8 of Swords. So just kind of looking at this energy, just feeling as if your limiting beliefs were really, really holding you back in your recent past, which is why I don't necessarily know if these changes were your choice or not, but I feel as if they were absolutely necessary, because with the Tower in reverse, this is like avoiding the inevitable. Like these changes that happened in your recent past, they were inevitable to get you to some sort of new beginning. And this new beginning is much more abundant than whatever it was that you were settling for in your recent past. But right now, I feel like you're kind of dealing with a lot of instability, that it's hard to believe that that's the case. Now, the 7 of Wands in reverse is this energy of really doubting yourself, doubting what is possible for you, what you're capable of. And again, your recent past feels a lot like complacency. Now, sometimes we don't even realize we're being complacent, right? Sometimes we think that we're staying where we're at because we genuinely believe that that's as good as it can get for us. So we might not even realize that we're settling because in our minds, we have limited what we think is even possible for us. So that's why I feel that the universe kind of pushed you forward in the way that it did, and in the into these changes, is so that you, like you're kind of dealing with in your current energy, you release yourself from the limited ideas that you have for what's possible for you. It's almost like if the universe didn't nudge you, you might never have moved in a way, but you needed to move because you needed to realize that there was so much more possible for you, so much more that you're capable of, and all of these things that you're going through, they might not feel the best because they're really uncomfortable and you're really outside of your comfort zone, and you're having to lean on the universe, the faith of the universe, and having to lean on kind of a different level of understanding of your life. But it doesn't mean that it's negative. It just feels as if it's kind of pushing you in ways that were necessary to get you to where you're trying to go. But one more for your recent past. Yeah, okay. So this is this energy of not listening to divine guidance. It's almost as if you knew certain changes needed to happen, but you were avoiding. It's like you didn't want to be honest with yourself about that, because here's this 10 of Pentacles. This is what this is talking about. This is the alignment with your intuition, the alignment with your highest good is going to lead you to this abundance. But it feels like these changes needed to take place in order to get you into alignment with this abundance. But the thought of making these changes or going through these changes was very triggering. Again, going back to feeling outside of your comfort zone. If you doubt yourself, you're going to doubt that that you're going to land on your feet. And I really feel like this is a lot of having to turn inward and really, really rely on yourself. And it's almost as if like discovering what it is that you're made of in a way. And it is actually a very powerful reading so far, but I just feel like you might not feel very powerful right now. Maybe you do. But maybe depending on where you're at in the journey, because remember, not everyone might be going through this energy at the same time, right? Not every Capricorn placement is going to be dealing with this energy at the same time. But depending on where you're at in this journey, I do feel like eventually you're going to get to this point where you see the purpose of everything. Current energy for Capricorn, clarifying patience with the 8 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, there's the frustration, Temperance in reverse, 8 of Wands. You're not where you want to be with the Sun in reverse here. I feel like there's this lack of, you're not where you want to be yet. And that's okay. You know, so many times I think that we have a tendency to get it in our head that if we're not where we want to be, that means that we're never going to get there. Now, the amount of stress and anxiety that you usually feel when you're experiencing that energy of not being where you want to be is going to give you a pretty big indication of how much you believe that you're going to get there. Because when things aren't going our way, if we're able to have faith that, you know, we're being maybe obstacles and challenges are directing us to the right path, or that, we're being guided in some way that we might not be able to understand in the moment. When you have that faith in the universe, you're able to kind of let go and go with the flow. But I feel like right now, you're struggling with that a little bit, understandably so, but you're struggling with that a little bit, and there's this lack of frustration about not being where it is that you want to be, not being where it is that you ultimately deserve to be. Now, through that, you know, every time we face an obstacle and a challenge, we work through the limiting belief that we're never going to get there. Because the faith in the universe doesn't just happen overnight. It's not just like you make a move, these changes happen, and then it all works out immediately, and then all of a sudden you have this immense faith in the universe. Your faith in the universe is going to be built after, periods of your life where you go through kind of trials and tribulations, and you come out recognizing that they've happened for your highest good. And so I feel like you're kind of in the middle of that right now. Just remember that failure and lack are never destinations. They literally just mean that you're in the middle of a journey, and you're working through a lot of your inner blocks to the abundance that you're ultimately desiring. So it's not that it's not going to happen, it's just that it hasn't happened yet. So don't confuse the two, because it's easy to do. Your perspective is everything. There's a need to shift your perspective in a way. Shift your perspective regarding what's going through. Because literally, if there's anything that I've learned on this journey, it's that what you perceive is what you experience. So your perspective on your reality is going to be the reality that you experience. If you have this perspective of nothing works out for me, I always end up losing, everything always falls apart, I always get hurt. If you have that perspective, that is going to be the reality that you experience. So when you're working through really difficult times in your life without dismissing the way that you feel, because the way that you feel is not wrong, but try to hold on to this bigger perspective picture, this bigger picture thinking that even though things don't feel like they're working out or you're not where you want to be, that things are actually working out in a better way than you might be able to understand right now. And this part of your journey that you're in is necessary when it comes to getting you to where you're trying to go. Like, I literally feel as if you're needing to take a deep breath and tell yourself you are exactly where you are supposed to be on this journey. And you are, continuing to take steps forward, even if you feel like you've gone backwards. Don't chase. Attract, don't chase. Page of Swords, Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay. This Page of Swords is this need to pay attention to the way that you are speaking to others, to yourself, about your reality. When we constantly affirm that I'm not where I want to be, I'm at a lack, again, all those things that I was kind of talking about. Nothing ever works out for me, I always end up alone, whatever the case is. Whenever we are constantly affirming those with our words, whether or not we realize it, our words carry power and have energy that puts out a frequency into the universe that actually affirms your current position and ultimately attracts that into your life. If there was one thing I wish I would have known sooner on my spiritual journey, and like, you hear it, your words matter, and you're like, yeah, I'm sure they matter, whatever. But seriously, the extent to which they matter is so much more than you might even know. And when you're constantly talking down about yourself, or you're speaking bad about your reality, or you're looking in the mirror and you're saying bad things about yourself, those things are literally creating more of the negative stuff that you're trying to change. When we are in this energy of knowing our worth, knowing who we are, knowing that we're deserving of good things, and we are constantly giving out the best possible vibration that we are capable of in that moment, because again, this is not dismissing the way that you feel, it's just not allowing yourself to constantly affirm the negative. But when we're in that very positive energy, that's what attracts what it is that we desire. Our energy is everything, and your energy is going to be created based on your perspective. When you have a positive perspective and you're focused on what you do have, and you're focused on gratitude, and you're focused on creating and strengthening your faith in the universe, that energy is literally going to set you up for positive changes. Now, like I kind of mentioned, you're in between old and new right now. You're in between, you're kind of in this limbo period, and right now you kind of have a little bit of a clean slate to build on. So if you're not where you want to be, don't allow that energy to get you into this mindset of I'm never going to get there. I'm not deserving. Look at all of these things that are wrong with me and with my life. Don't allow that. Don't allow yourself to slip into that negative loop, because when you do that, it's really, really hard to break yourself out of. Now, if you have done that, that's okay, because you can break yourself out of it. And the best way to do that is to catch yourself whenever you're thinking or speaking negatively about yourself, to others, about your life. Catch yourself, and in that moment, reframe. You can say things like, instead of constantly affirming, I'm so broke, say things like, I am open to creative opportunities for financial abundance. Trying your hardest to verbalize the possibility instead of verbalizing the limitation. And that right there is a shift in your energy that will create a little bit of a positive momentum, and every single shift that you make in that direction is going to create more and more and more positive momentum moving forward. So if that resonates with you, something I follow, Gabrielle Bernstein, she's one of my favorite spiritual teachers, and I take a lot of my teachings from how she's helped me in my own life. And one of the things she recommends is wearing a rubber band on your wrist. And anytime you find yourself thinking negatively, speaking negatively, like sitting there and like snapping it, because it sends your brain a signal that this is something that's you're needing to change. So kind of snap it and reframe, and it can help break you out of that negative loop cycle, because whether or not you realize it, the more that we get trapped in that the more that you are actually going to attract what you don't want instead of what you do. So what can Capricorn expect in their immediate future? Stability. Oh, wow! Okay, so there's the Fool. There's that new beginning we were talking about. There's the Four of Pentacles upright, the Two of Wands talking about alignment, and the Chariot. Positive momentum, positive progress. So here's where the caveat is. All of this is already yours. The stability, the alignment, the success, the positive forward movement, all of this is already yours. So it's not a question about whether or not the things that you desire in your life are possible. The question is, do I believe that they're possible, and do I act in that capacity? Do I take divinely guided action? Do I listen to my spiritual guidance when it's pushing me out of my comfort zone? And when you're able to answer yes to that, then you can find comfort in knowing that you're doing everything within your power to create the best possible outcome for yourself. So what you need to understand is that in your immediate future, what it is that you desire is already there. It already exists. It is already in reality. It is now up to you to align yourself with it. So this is not questioning whether or not it's possible. This, we're going to stop doing that. We're no longer questioning whether or not it's possible. It's possible, okay? The universe has put a dream in your heart for a reason. It has every intention of helping you make that a reality. So it's possible. And if you can take that away, if you can stop questioning whether or not the life that you desire, the relationship that you desire, and I'm not talking about with a specific person, but the type of relationship that you desire, if you can stop questioning whether or not it's possible and start figuring out what you need to do to make it a reality, your life will start to change in powerful ways, which is why you have this expect powerful change. So everything that you're working through right now is literally just getting you into alignment with what it is that you desire, helping you work through limiting beliefs, doubt, fears, all of the fun stuff, really the not so fun stuff, but all of the stuff that keeps us trapped in a limited reality. So that's pretty positive energy there, Capricorn. Ooh. Nine of Wands, Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and then the Nine of Swords. What you need to try to work through is this idea that what is meant for you and what holds the ability to fulfill and create joy and love and all of this abundance in your life does not exist behind you. When we hold on, because you've obviously been through some changes, right? And when we go through a lot of changes, in our mind, we can get it stuck that we were once happier than we are now, especially if you're experiencing this lack of stability and this lack of forward movement, then it's easy to get it in your head that things would have been better if they would have been different. But that's never true. The universe does not move us in certain directions to make our life worse. The universe moves us in certain directions to help us become the person that we need to be to create a better life for ourselves. Now, that's a super overarching concept. So understand that when you break it down, I'm not sitting here saying you need to be overwhelmingly grateful for these horrible things that you've been through if that's the case for you. What I am saying is that when we go through really negative things in our life, especially changes that put us in a not so great place, we have an option. We can either allow those changes to control us, live in the past, and continue to allow our pain to dictate our movements, choices, and decisions, which is going to attract more pain and lack and not so great things. Or we can choose to look at it as an opportunity. And we can say, if the universe is putting me in this position that I'm at now, then the only purpose that it has in my life is to create better for me. So what do I need to do to see that, to understand that, and to move forward in alignment with that? Because what this is saying is when you get to what is in alignment with your highest good, you're not going to feel as if you've lost anything. That's what you need to be sure of, is even if you feel this, these intense feelings of loss and lack, just know that when you get to where the universe is trying to take you, you are not going to feel the loss and the lack associated with what has changed. And I know that might be really hard to believe in this moment, but I don't know, that's what I see. There's always a purpose, even if we can't see it when we're going through it. Immediate future for Capricorn. I like that. It's almost like release of, like, 5 of Cups in reverse is recovery in this context for me. The return of hope. It's almost as if your immediate future, yeah, because there's the 8 of Swords in reverse. It's almost as if it's, because I do feel like you are pretty disappointed in this energy that you're in right now. Disappointed, frustrated, not where you want to be. And it feels as if this energy is talking about, like, recovery after disappointment. It could be financial recovery. It could be relationship recovery, like you recover from a relationship and attract a better one. I don't know. It could be so many things, so I don't want to give too specific of examples, but it feels as if your immediate future is kind of this energy of recovering after loss or after negative changes. And that's what this powerful change is kind of putting you, and I feel like this recovery this feels like it's putting you actually in a better position than you were before. So recovery after change is definitely what your immediate future has in store for you. So don't give up hope, don't give up faith. I do absolutely feel as if things are moving in the right direction for you. I get, why you would feel as if that's not the case because of the energy that you're in right now, but try to pay attention to the energy you're putting out with your words. Again, even the way that you speak to yourself in your head, your internal monologue, trying to just be very, very aware of this energy that you're constantly affirming in your reality, because it does make a difference, I promise. But we're going to hop on over to the extended. In this extended, I'm going to focus on what do you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So this one was focusing more on what you need to know overall kind of concept, and now we're going to be diving in a little bit deeper to these messages and getting a little bit more specific. So thank you so much, Capricorn, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today, and as always, Capricorn, I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Capricorn.